The Duke is on the air.
Duke Ellington and his famous orchestra. The music of Duke Ellington has a style of its own. This characteristic is shown in our program opener with a saxophone concerto featuring Johnny Hodges, The Mood to be Wooed.
Well, good old Johnny Hodges, a marvelous performance of a fairly recent composition that has just been recorded, was about to be recorded for Victor. I remember it was one of my favorite 78s from that period. sensuous kind of approach to a ballad, an original ballad, "Mood to be Wooed." Hodges was getting out of this of the swinging sort of thing that he'd done for so many years for Ellington very well. He was becoming a ballad specialist, and Ellington was writing all kinds of mini concerti for him during this period. We're back with our Saturday date with the Duke. This was a Treasury program which went on for about 6 or 8 months in 45 and 46, and it was an attempt to wind up the war in terms of bond sales. After VJ Day, they continued to press for war bond sales by saying that we needed a victory bond sale, and to help the reconversion of industry, and to help the GIs get home and get squared away after an exhausting and campaign in Europe and in Asia. So I was listening to Duke in the Navy, as I said last week, every chance I could get, every Saturday afternoon that I could get off, and I found this an incredibly personal kind of experience, because listening to Duke live and listening to him speak and listening to these great soloists and these fantastic compositions made me right there, even though I had been introduced to Ellington earlier, a lifelong Ellingtonian. And I'm pleased to see that these records have come back. This was part of a short-lived an attempt by an outfit called Fairmount Records to use Mel Torme's tapings from this period, and they fell afoul of the Ellington estate, which cut off the issuance of these albums after about eight of them. Subsequently, the Ellington estate has reached an agreement with Jerry Valburn, and you can now get the whole series. I think about 50 albums, 50 LPs of these programs that Ellington had recorded himself.
So Mel Torme isn't involved anymore?
Apparently not. So Mel has his tapes, of course. He can listen to them anytime he wants to, and we have to scuffle for these, because you have to buy them on a subscription basis. You have to buy the whole set, and they send you 4 or 5 at a time, and they're only I think they're charging about $10 a set or something like that. Well, maybe less than that. Yeah, comes out to about $5 an LP. It's pretty good deal if you have the money. In any event, we are in Battle Creek, Michigan, my old hometown, on June 2nd, 1945, and we're at the Percy Jones Hospital, which was the old sanitarium for all of you Battle Creekians. The old sanitarium, which was taken over by the government and turned into a hospital, a very much needed hospital for those unfortunate GIs who lost limbs during World War II, and they were being fitted with artificial limbs and being ready for return to civilian life. So it was an important place, and he had a very ready audience on this date, and the band plays very well. So we'll hear a tune from the early 40s called Jack the Bear, which will feature Junior Ragland, the bassist, pretty much, and then a blues tune called Way Low. Let's hear those two, Michael, and then we'll talk further about them.
Our musical spotlight now turns to Junior Ragland with his feature bass solo, Jack the Bear. And now, Duke Ellington and his orchestra with his haunting rendition of a jungleistic lament, Way Low.
A gorgeous version of Way Low, which is unusual to be heard in that particular length because the recording was very short. In any event, it's great to hear Lawrence Brown, especially on them. Okay, a new tune, a new jump tune called Blues on the Double, which never got recorded. And then finally, a delightful version of Summertime, which I think Johnny Hodges is featured on. In any event, it's a great old tune from the 30s, and which I remember very well. And Hodges does it up Brown. So
Is it Blues on the Double? Is that an original Ellington, or is that a...
it's an Ellington tune, yeah, but it never really went anywhere. He played it a lot during this period, but he didn't record it. Apparently, didn't think it was worthy recording. But it was a what they used to call a flag waver in those days. It's okay, yeah. But Summertime is very nice, yeah.
And now, a special dedication from the Duke to the patients of Percy Jones Hospital Center, Blues on the Double. Thank you, Mr. Ellington. You know, Al Hibbler hands out some fine vocals, so now he's going to take the spot to give us Summertime.
Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Your dad is rich and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings you're gonna rise up singing, and you'll spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, there, but nothing can harm you. The mommy and daddy standing by. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing, and you'll spread your wings, and you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, there, nothing can harm you. The mommy and daddy standing by, with mommy and the daddy standing by.
Al Hibbler, probably the best of the shouters from those days, and that was one of his really showstoppers with that ascending shout at the end of Summertime. I should have remembered. I was thinking of Indian Summer with Johnny Hodges, but of course it was the famous Gershwin Summertime from Porgy and Bess, and Hibbler was really in his prime in these days. He's still going. He's still singing clubs, and still sounds great. But he's a bit eccentric these days. He doesn't do the straight ballads like he used to in those days. But Hib, as they used to call him, was a great favorite with Ellington fans, and with the Ellington band, he was blind, but he had a great shout on him, and a great way with ballads.
Helped keep Ellington in the pop market too, I think.
It did. Yeah. In fact, Ellington's had poor luck with his male singers after Hibbler. He had a group of forgettable.
A lot of drama and soul or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a lot of exactly. Yeah, but Hibbler had something special, and I'm sorry he didn't stay longer with Ellington. And Ellington liked him too. He regarded him as a sort of like a son, looked after him. We're moving on to the second side of this rather good date in Battle Creek of June 2nd, 19. Part of it comes Sunday, and then we'll hear what he calls Light, or a work song, and it's almost a 12-minute selection. And it was good of Ellington to keep this in the forefront of his audiences, because it was a tremendous achievement, Black, Brown, and Beige, and although he felt he had to chop it up because of its length, it survives today as one of his great monuments. And after that, we'll hear a tune which I think was written in the 30s called "On the Alamo," which is a delightful ballad. I suspect that one of the instrumentalists, either Hodges or Brown, will use this as a showpiece. So a rather large chunk of Black, Brown, and Beige, Come Sunday and Light, and then On the Alamo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Duke Ellington now offers a special concert arrangement of a spiritual theme from Black, Brown, and Beige. This rendition shows the difference between the spiritual and the work song of the American Negro. Duke Ellington, his orchestra, with Come Sunday and Light from his own composition, Black, Brown, and Beige. continuing the music and rounding out a smooth tempo in his own style, Maestro Duke Ellington leads the boys on the Alamo.
A swinging version of On the Alamo, which of course featured Johnny Hodges and the tenor man whose name escapes me at the moment, Al Sears. And before that, a really gorgeous version of Come Sunday and Work Song, featuring almost everybody. These particular albums, which are no longer available, I don't think. I think they've been pulled or remaindered. Had some interesting notes by Mel Torme. We read a bit of them last week. He said, Duke Ellington spanned several decades musically in his long and productive lifetime, changing personnel, discovering new, exciting, inventive musicians to interpret his unique compositions and orchestrations. I have met Ellington buffs who have no interest in anything but anything the Duke wrote or the band played past 1933. I've known fans who have marched only to Ellington circa 1950 and beyond. For me and thousands of others, happily, the optimum Ellington organization was the happy aggregate of musicians who formed the Ellington Orchestra of the war years, the 40s band. And he's right. This was an incredible collection of musicians. Unfortunately, they lost Cootie first, and then Barney, and then Ben Webster. All three of whom gave a special cachet to the band's sound. How much time do we have, Michael? Do we have time to play the rest of this, do you think?
Well, let's talk.
We've got 3 cuts, really just 2 cuts to go.
Sure.
Okay. We've got a marvelous thing from, which was part of the Black, Brown, and Beige, which was later retitled Carnegie Blues, in which Al Sears takes over the old Ben Webster solo and does gives a great sound on the tenor saxophone. And then after that we'll hear a novelty tune which is just about to be recorded or has been recorded during this period, which Ray Nance exhibits his facility for singing swinging novelty tunes. It's called Otto, Make That Riff Staccato.
And now the Duke and the Boys weave a neat tapestry of rhythm as Ray Mance takes over with Otto Riff Staccato.
Make a real staccato, choppy is the motto. Play a hot staccato. Otto, make a real staccato, not an obligato. no ad-lib vibrato. Don't drag us with your corny lick. You're strictly on a nowhere kick. Otto, use that old staccato. Will not Otto, make that riff staccato.
Well, there's swing, harmony, and rhythm coming up now with Duke Ellington at the controls playing the familiar Blue Skies.
Well, that closed out the Percy Jones concert at in Battle Creek, Michigan. But we've got a little time left, so we're going to let you hear a solid version of "Blue As the Night," and this is a tune from the '30s, which I think Ellington is to record for Victor very shortly. It's a Fred Fisher tune, and it's a gorgeous arrangement. So Ellington
in Toledo, Ohio,
We're moving through the.
moving through the Midwest, moving through the Servicemen's Hospital, doing Blue as the Night.
And now it's time for tune number one, Blue is the Night.